Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, starting with the Nasdaq on the weekly chart. We have seen Microsoft take out this previous high here. It's got basically the same pattern, taking out this high. So it would confirm for Microsoft that we have a wave 4 in place here. We are seeing other stocks that are quite strong as well, heading higher into this particular high here. So it just makes sense to view this as a wave 4. So that means that we need to look at wave 4 and going up for wave 5 in pretty much all cases. And not all stocks are like this, by the way. Some stocks, it'll be a situation where we've got this third wave high here and fourth wave here, and then some stocks will make a new high here, and then we'll have a larger correction in this space here, where some other stocks in the market will have an ABC pattern to the upside here and fail to make a new high above here, but they will, when this comes down, then this will come down as well. So there will be stocks with new highs and stocks that won't have new highs. So it's pretty much all the sort of Magnificent Seven that will make new highs as such. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. Okay, so when we look at Apple here, we can do the same. So with Apple here, you could also put wave A over here for this. It's not such a big deal. I sort of prefer it here, but both is fine. So yeah, looking at wave 3, 4 and 5 here, there is a case here that we could also view it in a bearish light as well, which we have been doing. I think that's on the daily chart. So we could look at it something like this. We could also probably look at it a little bit differently as well because of this spike here, the China issue and earnings and those sorts of things. We could also sort of view it with the 188 and 190 is going to be the resistance here. It's above the 61.8% and it's below the 78.6. It's just what I've come to conclude. So we could also see it something like this here and fail at this point. So we'll need to keep a bit of an eye on it as well. And I know this can be counted differently. I can see different ways that it can be counted. So I'm a little bit sort of unsure about it. But I can say the resistance starts at 188 to 190. And we need some sort of strategy to approach that particular high. So I was thinking that, so I've got it as wave 1 or wave A here. So what we could do in terms of entry, I was thinking that we would get a larger pullback here, but that wasn't the case. So if we just imagine for a moment this being wave 1 and 2 here, and then going up for 3 and 4 and 5 here, we'll get a 5-wave structure here. So there's a couple of ways this could play out. We could just get an ABC after that little move and then go up again at that point. So we're just going to be aware of that and we'll look to go long at that point. Otherwise we could drift down into a larger correction for this. So we need to be pretty much buying new highs. So you can see that this is wave 1 here and 2 here. So all of this here is kind of got the same look about it, hasn't it? So we can group that together as one family. So we still don't have wave 4 yet. So we'll need wave 4 and wave 5. So we want to wait for the top if you're looking at a new trade. And then when it pulls back, then we can go long above that particular top there. So on the 100 ticks here, we could view it a little bit like this here, just sort of blowing it up a bit. And yeah, just remember that there's resistance at the 188 and 190. So if we see this as 1 and 2 here and all this here is wave 3, we still need wave 4. We need it to pretty much break out of this trend channel here. I'm just sort of doing this a little bit different. So we just need it. You definitely need some sort of break away from that trend, and then there'll be wave 5, and then there'll be an ABC. So this is where I'm probably doing this a little bit too big, but we could move up again from that point there and look at this as some sort of wave 1 and 2 at this point. So we need to be, yeah, just a little bit diligent about that. Otherwise, we'll come down further in a larger correction. So we've got a bit of time. So tomorrow we'll look at see if we get a trade set up there for Apple. Amazon's another one that's creeping to the upside. We've seen this particular chart before as well. So we need to look at getting 5 waves from wave 4 to wave 5 here. So this could pull up to 160, 165. We'll see the 150 is a strong number, and we know it's strong because it never, strong numbers normally attract the market towards itself. It failed to do that at this point, so we know that it's got some gravitas to it. So it's going to start, having some issues around this current high here, but we need to figure out that this needs to go higher. So let's just cruise into this. Where are we? 1000. So this is how I've got it counted so far. A little bit like sort of Microsoft in a way, going up into a third wave up here. So I'm thinking that we'll end up with a little 5-wave structure in here somewhere. So after new tops are made, the market likes to correct at that point. It may also want to sort of be sucked up to the 150 as well at that point. So we'll just have a closer look at this here. Radio. Yeah, so this is another one that you could probably go long on as well. We'd have to look at this as 1 and 2 here, and probably all of the third wave, and then a little bit rough up here. So I'll just wait till tomorrow with this. I think that we've got, I could view this as all as wave 1 as well, as 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So we're on top of group 1 of 140, the 143, so that's going to be important. And once we break a new high here, it's likely to come back and test. So we'll probably get something like this here. We'll just wait for this to top and turn at this point, and we can look to go long at that point. So yeah, we'll just wait for that for tomorrow. And Nvidia is also pushing up quite high here as well. So it's probable that we could view this as wave 4 going up to wave 5 at this point. The bearish case for this is still there as well, but it's a bit hard to fit that in, because the thing here is that it really looks like 5 waves here, which we'll have a look at in a moment. So if we're going to get 5 here, it would be something, if it was going to be something like this, it would be something like this, which is kind of, it's a bit of a stretch, because all the AI stocks, are doing quite well to, leading to the upside. So we'll probably go back to to this count here, and we'll just see how it plays out. Now this could be counted, this, I haven't labeled this because I know that it could be counted in 2 different ways. And in fact, I know that we could also view it with a top over here as well, because this spike here was really sort of short-lived, and it eventually pulled back into the traffic. So let's just go in and have a look at the intraday. And approaching this large number up here is it's something that you can trade into it, but it's you just, the normal thing is it just gets gets swings across it. So you don't really want to be trading around large numbers, unless you're taking a position for the longer term. So we'll probably see 5 waves up into this area here, much the same as the other little markets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, and then pull back. The question is do we look at it as wave 1 or wave A? Because it's got quite a nice little, very simple, impulse wave to the upside. I don't see any sort of issues with that. So I'm thinking in this case we'll have some sort of, move up here, then some sort of pullback. I just don't know how big that pullback's going to be, that's all. but we kind of need to be in on that pullback, so we'll look at that in tomorrow in due course. And Meta Platforms here, this is wave 3 here, so it's really pushing the boundaries here. So we need to look at 5 waves moving up here. How high will it go up here? It'll just depend, how long it takes to get through this old top here. Double tops are never the end of the trend, so it's just going to play out, well, 300, and then we have group 1, 1, 2, and 3. So we can obviously see that, the top of group 1 is important. Getting support on group 1, though, with the classic trading levels pattern, that's going to pattern like this is going to take it up to the 350 at that point without too much problems. So just be a little bit mindful of that forming there, and that's what we'll be looking for with this wave 4 here. So be some sort of, well, I'll just do it very simple, the first high above the level here, and then we'll look to we'll look for a classic trading levels, some sort of ABC pattern in here to work, so we could go to the second high, and we could also improve on that as well, but nothing really to look into this, there's nothing here today on this, unfortunately. The Friday will follow, the Monday will follow through on the Friday, of course, the momentum there. But I'm thinking something like this here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's just the bearish count, which we can put, I'm just going to leave that there as, I don't even need it now, it's silly. So it'd be a top like that, there. I'll have to adjust those a bit. So yeah, a bit of a classic trading. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and so I think that we'll be pushing up for a little 5th wave here, a little pullback in here, and then this one here, and there's this one that we need over here, which should be a bit larger at that point, and then we can push up. Okay, so Netflix. So just tying it in with the other markets, it would end up looking like this here. It's still lagging a little bit. I could definitely bring that wave 3 down. That's not the issue there, but the reason I'm showing this for us is because it's in line with the rest of the markets, but it has further to go. So we'll see how it goes. But it is pushing up quite nicely, I have to say. So the bearish count on this, if I've got it here, I can't remember if I've got it here or not. Yeah, so the bearish count is looking at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave up here for this. Obviously, this old high here is going to cause some issues. And there's, I can count this as 5 waves up here as well. But the question is are we going to get the other move where it just keeps pushing up higher here and taking out that top there and heading up to 500? If that's the case, we need to be on that. So just coming back to this move here, this particular one going higher up into the 500 here, we need to. It didn't quite pull back as far as I expected it to either. Are we on 1,000? Yeah. So this would be the bearish case. So looking at this here as 3, 4, 5, which kind of makes sense. We've been looking at that, and we'll definitely see it slow down at the 450 area here, and then into group 2 on the 100 ticks. Maybe I've got it a bit more bullish. I've got 2 counts here, right? So yeah. So we get a move either up into group 2 for the bearish count, which we put here as C of B, and the other one will take us up above the top here somewhere, So what we can do here, I've had it counted as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. That's 5 waves here. We can look at that as 5 waves, and we could put wave 1 and wave 2 here. And if that, let's just assume that for a moment that's correct. The 5 waves that we get up here, then we'll get some type of ABC pullback in here, and then we'll push up again. So this would be the long trade coming. I don't like to buy before a level, so above it here. The other way with this is that I could push this for the bearish count. I could push this as wave 1 here as an alternative, and then wave 3 at this point here for this top. This would make this wave 4, and then we would have wave 5 up here to make this wave C of B at that point. So that's slightly the difference in it all. But I think we look for a classic trading levels pattern at the 450 and then move up from that point. So we'll be looking at that trade tomorrow. We come over to Alphabet, and there's 2 ways that this could play out as well. So we could have wave 4 here, and we could go up to wave 5. That's quite possible. Or we'll need to look at this as an A and a B and a C wave here, and then down at that point. So I think I've got that on the daily charts. So yeah, so this would be the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave to this as a wave B here, and then pull back. So, yeah, we really need to be in the next leg to the upside, whichever way you want to view this. My bias is to this one here, but you never can tell. So we'll just take it step by step, and this would be on the bearish side. This would be we've been counting it up here. So I was expecting a bigger correction, we just didn't get it. So in both cases, we should be pushing up. So in this instance here, we could look at this, and we'll just be careful about it. So basically, once this 5 waves done here, of course it could fail, but what we're looking for is a little ABC pattern here, and yeah, it could fail. It doesn't really matter, because what we'll do is we'll just go long above the second high, or if you can't find that, above the top here. But the thing is that this little trend here will have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it'll pull back. So all you need to do is nothing really. You just wait for the top to come in. It's sort of like this here, I guess. It's sort of like, the market comes up, and you if you're thinking it's wave 1, then you just need for it to pull back. You just have to wait for it to pull back, and then you've got your nice clean top at that point. On the 100 ticks, just for some more detail on this, yeah, so we're basically looking at it in 2 different ways, and this is an alternative wave 4 here for having an alternative wave 5 over here. I don't think it's the case, but it's quite possible. It's something that I am seeing, but it doesn't really matter, because in both cases, this will be some little 3rd wave up here, and a 4th here, and a 5th here. So this could be some sort of top here, no doubt, okay? But the thing is that if we get a wave 4 and then a wave 5 here, and then we get this ABC pattern that can pull back here. Now, it could come down here further. That's quite possible. Well, that would be the alternative 4 and 5 up here. But otherwise, we'll move up here. So it doesn't make any difference, because you just put your trader hat on, and we'll be going long above, the second top if you can find it. But otherwise, this top here. And if this is correct, then this will also be wave 2 here, rather than the wave B. And so this 1 and 2, this 3rd wave should move quite quickly through here. So it should be a reasonable trade. So we'll just wait for a classic trading levels pattern on top of this. Is minor group 1 here, and this is subgroup 1 here. And we can look to add on 34 or 35 at that point. 36.50 is the next level there. Okay, so that's Google, and this is Microsoft here. So yeah, so Microsoft's move was, it was kind of a bit of a backbone leader in terms of the AI with, using Nvidia's technology to to create, the platform for OpenAI and others. So look, it started its move here much earlier than the Nasdaq, basically. So it's taken out the top here now. So that was a nice sort of confirmation. So we can look at this as wave 3 and 4 happening here. You'd expect a bit of vibration across the the old high here, and then going up for wave 5 at that point. Now the thing is, it's taken this top out here, so there would be a good case to call this 5 waves up for the top of the market at this point, and then we crash at that point. That's possible, but I think that I just like a bit of a glass half full sort of guy. So without sticking my head in the sand. So we would look at something like this here, rather than, the end of the world scenario coming down at this point, which is always, in the, fear sells, and there's probably this good, right? There's, I mean, the West, I'm not going to just call out America, but most of the West have been kicking the can down the street for, quite some time, really. I mean, the interest on America's debt is $1 trillion. That's quite a lot when you compare it to their income. Anyway, but that can is rolling down the hill. So we'll just go with the more positive side here for the time being anyway. But, I mean, when this occurs here, just try to, there will be negative news in the media about all of this, but I will be trying to find a low for this. We'll try to have our shorts in here as well, but, we'll be looking for, this is what we'll be sort of focused on, looking for that low. Rightio. So with this one here, let's just go to the 1000 area here, and in this case, I think we were looking for a wave 4 here. I think so. Anyway, so we need to find little 5 waves up here for this, and this will be a little wave 4 at this point. It'll be in group 2 here. It'll be across the old high here. So it could get a bit complicated in here. So I'll be aware of that, and I'll just chill. So on 100 ticks in here. I've got this a little bit differently, have I? Yeah, I did. Got 2 counts going on here. Let me just double check again. Get the brain cells working Monday morning. Oh no, it's not too bad. So let me go here. So we've got wave 1 here, and 2, and be 1 and 2 here. Yeah, we're not far off this. But there'll be some momentum for this, and we should actually stay within. There might be a spike below here, but we should stay in here. I mean, we can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, but we're also in group 2 now. It hasn't retested the old highs here just yet at 365 roughly. So we might get like a little spike down, but that can give us a bit of a buying op as well at this point. So we'll need to wait for this to turn over a bit here. Okay, so we come over to Tesla, and Tesla's one of these ones that it has dropped down quite a lot. So it may not, it may not make it as a bullish move to the upside. I've got it as wave 1 or wave A here, and we counted up 5 waves here and all the rest of it. But what we can probably expect here is this will be a little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here. There'll be some sort of little ABC pattern in here, and then a push up at that point. So we could look to go long on here if you can find that. Let me just you'll also just need to keep the stop out of the way. We don't need those now, do we, these things? So yeah, I think there's a little push here. It looks like a little wave 4 here. See how these are sharp corrections and these ones become a bit more sideways. They're like wave 4s. So it's probably something like this, and it could pull back deeper here. I'm not quite sure. You can get your 61.8% tool out if you like, and so on, and it should be okay. But to be, you can buy at the low, and in a lot of cases, that's probably the right thing to do. I just like to reduce my initial losses. And I don't mind a loss, I'm a good loser, but it's just the time that it takes to recover. Even if it is, a 1% loss or 0.5% loss or whatever. So I like to wait for, when I've got a situation like this that's, it should be okay. We've got the A or wave 1 and A, B, C here. It's a little bit dodgy down here. It's okay. It should be okay to buy back here, but I would be personally waiting for this. And if I was there at the time, what I'd be looking for once this low comes in here, I try to look for the first little impulse wave to the upside, and then I look to do the rinse and repeat, the bigger pattern of the, the trade setups are pretty much always the same to me. This is a wave 1 or wave A up here. So it's 5 waves up, 3 waves back. Then this will be 5 waves up, 3 waves back. And then in here will be 5 waves up and 3 waves back. So they're just different degrees of different cycles. So it's always just a rinse and repeat of things. So it's just, managing that risk. So you can bring that down into here. If you're not there at the time, if you're just setting up orders and on the platform and leaving, then, it's a different thing. You trade less if you're going for those sorts of things. You just trade less and you have, wider stops and take it at that point. So, if you're waiting for the top to come in and you could see the top, then you could buy above the top, so you place that order, but you'd also place this down here under here as well, because you don't know if this is going to come back 80% or 40%, so you have to make your mind up that you're getting in and you want to get in and you want to stay safe once you're in. So look, many roads to Rome. So, but anyway, there we go. So I'll just put that back here, looking for the second high, and yeah, we should get some sort of leg that should have some sort of equality to this one over here, roughly speaking, So we should get up here, may get to the 250, may not. We'll see how it sits on this. If this gives me a classic trading levels pattern here on this number, the 230, top of minor group 1 of 200, then we'll be pushed, then it'll be pulled up to here, but we don't know that yet, so I'll just bring this down here. So really the target at this point, which we can change, is the 230. Alrighty, I'm going to leave it at that. Thanks for tuning in. Cheers.